What's up, guys? Look at this lovely sloppy chart here. So I've been watching NIO for a long time now. So I want to run through it real quick and see if we can find any solid entry points here. Obviously, you could have probably done a nice breakout trade off of this here with an entry at 48.65. And it looks like the breakout of this falling wedge that it was in here, breakout potential is look at that, actually lines up pretty good with this trend line here that I have to 55.16. Okay, so obviously you can see the beautiful volume that rolled in here, and it looks like we are flagging out here. Now, of course, we can take a look and see how everything has played out here. And obviously I have a lot of fucking lines here, guys. A lot of fucking lines. But I've been playing this thing quite a bit, as you can see. So, this overall kind of looks like a rising channel, right? I think it was a rising channel, probably perceived as a massive bull flag. It's very possible that it was a massive bull flag here, right? But obviously it fell out of it. So now, maybe a falling channel as well. Like as far as, this consolidation here, falling channel here that it broke down out of. It was needed. It's been needed for a long time here. If we take a look at the weekly here, look at how gross that looks. So if you look at NIO here, this is kind of what I've been waiting for. You can see kind of what it's been doing here. So it likes to come up, test this trend line, come down, find support on this, come up, test this trend line, so on and so forth, right? So we had this fake out here. Well, not fake. Well, kind of fake, right? But I mean, it had a breakout here of this rising channel, and this was when we hit the $65 top here. Now, I really wish that I put a short in because I called this $65 top, not on a video or anything, but to a couple buddies and my own analysis here, I was like, I would probably short it up at 65, right? And wow, that would have been an excellent short position here, right? But there was no real telling of where it was going to find a bottom, or if it was going to find a bottom, besides what I was going off of really was this either $40 range or this $38.98, which you can see here we actually caught support here at 41.53. So I probably could find a potential of another pattern here, but I don't think I'm going to get into that during this video here at the moment. I'm just trying to eyeball it right now. That's why I went quiet, because I'm looking at this could we find a pattern? So yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that another time maybe, because this thing's too sloppy, but I don't want to be deleting all of this stuff just yet. So as you can see, we did get a confirmed breakout here of this falling wedge. And you can tell by, obviously, this nice daily candle that popped up out here. And you can tell by these hourly candles above. As of right now, there is bearish divergence on the hourly. Higher on the left, lower on the right. RSI, higher on the right, lower on the left, right? So that's bearish divergence. Doesn't have to play out just yet, right? Because price action could continue up, and we don't have to confirm this yet because we haven't dropped. So we look like we're creating actually a little flag here, right? And that's what it looks like here. Could be a flag, could be a rising channel. Let's find out. So probably a little, it looks like a little pennant, right? So this is a nice little bull pennant here. So, for me, yeah, this would have been a nice place to go long here. Hopefully somebody got long here. That would be pretty sizable position. But let's see what this breakout of this area could be. So if in fact it does break out of here, This looks like a little bull pennant here, right? So bull pennant. Whoops, I fucking extended that. We don't want to do that. So pretty decent move right there, right? So you have a pretty decent move to 53.98 roughly. This upper red line here was the falling wedge here, right, that we fell out of. So we were in this falling wedge. We had a breakout of it. We were in this, what looks like maybe a bull flag potential, right? This upper green line here and this lower red line also between this trading channel or whatever you want to call it. And we had a breakout. Did we ever get a daily close? Do we ever get an hourly close above? We did, but we were quite oversold up in this range here, and starting to roll over. And obviously, you can see how that turned out. And then we caught resistance here, and this right here was kind of the confirmation here that we were rejected. So that would have been your perfect exit point here, and it actually had a couple wicks up here to 62. Wow. And then it came back down and closed under this line, $61. And then we dumped ever since. Had this death cross here on the, well, that's the hourly, but had that hourly death cross here, and we kind of never picked back up since. So then we had this very, very mean correction here. So right now, well, right here actually, you created bullish divergence here. See this W, it's straight across here, and on the RSI, you're on the left here, way down here, on the right, you're way up here. So this right here is, you could probably call it hidden bullish divergence. And then right now, we technically have hidden bearish divergence, but we can always, like I said, if we do break out of this and get a nice move out, we can easily cancel that out when this RSI moves up with it. So, how would you play this if you aren't in this yet? So, I mean, you could get an hourly confirmed close above 50.32, or you could get an hourly confirmed close above like 50.85. And that's kind of what I would do personally. I probably wouldn't play this pennant, but, you could play this pennant, but that this upper resistance here is a very, very strong resistance. And so is this resistance right here. If I actually carried this out here across, okay, let's take a look, because that was the falling wedge here, right? So where are we right now? We're still below it. We never got an hourly close above that. So, usually that's not the best scenario here. So you do actually want to get an hourly close up on this trend line here, which is roughly $50, we'll say. We'll call it $50. So I'd like to see an hourly close above this trend line here with confirmation in volume, okay? So you can see the volume has dropped off here on the hourly. So you have declining volume here as well. So there is a move coming, whether it's up or down. That's what we don't know just yet, of course. If we did fall down out of this pennant, you could have either a breakdown the size of that. Could be two different ways to look at it. You could look at it like a breakdown of this here, which would retest this area here at 46.73. Kind of doubt it. Or we could check a smaller breakdown move just in case it does break down here, right? And test this 1 hour EMA. That sounds a little more likely, 48.15 if we did break down out of this. Below, let's say, below 49.55 with an hourly close below, rejection there, breakdown 48.13, roughly, whatever I just said. And then obviously break up. Let's see a smaller target. Let's base it off of this just being a small pennant here, so we don't over-exaggerate it with a bull pennant. Break up here, roughly. Smaller target here, $52 roughly, right below 52. So let's take a look at the TD sequential and Ichimoku cloud. So we can see that we have a lot of support right down here at 48.40, as well as this cloud support at 48.90. $89.88. And then the biggest resistance right now that we need to get that hourly close above as of tomorrow would be $49.91 to be exact. Once you get above that, right, you're still in this pennant, but once you get above that, it's probably going to have if it did get an hourly close above this, the next candle would definitely, well, in my opinion, I can't say definitely, probably break up at least to this 50, 70, and it might even get a bigger, depending on the volume spike, it might even get a bigger break, which could cause an actual break of this larger pennant here. I mean, this larger falling wedge. Now, your biggest resistance, though, is 51.87. And that, to me, has been very, very crucial resistance for quite some time, even before this red cloud was above it. If you look over here, this $42 was very, very tough to get above. And it acted as support as well when we wicked down below, and it acted as resistance as well when we got rejected roughly 52.50 area. So that's going to be some confluence there to keep our eyes on. The break of this is, well, let's see. The breakout of this is $50.71 with confirmed hourly close above, but the safest play might actually be along from an hourly close confirming this as support here, $52. But you can play it however you would like. If you're interested in this, if you're already in, then you're already in. So now the cool thing is that if we do actually get back into this pattern here, we're at the end of this apex, that we could actually have the break of that. So you have like pretty good amount of things going on here. Whoa. Let me hide some of this shit here. So you have some crazy shit going on here. This could be really, really fucking bullish here. So originally, right, this pattern breakout here, the target of this was, well, let me put this down where we're going to break out here, right? So your targeted move of this guy here, well, actually, it would be down further. So, because we would probably, if we do break out here, right, we would actually break at the end of this very, very last second of this apex, which is pretty cool if it does make it back in here. And that targeted move would be roughly $60. But your biggest resistance of all time right now would be, when you do make it there, would be $58. And an hourly close above that, in my opinion, is a very, very good break here. Because now you're looking at an even bigger break, and it would be potentially even a bigger move than this, right? Because I'm going to just do a conservative target, and then I'm going to do an overhyped target, just because it's very possible that. So obviously, this could turn out to something. This could turn out to be something very, very big if it does, in fact, happen. So 65.82, and that is obviously roughly very close to all-time, not all-time high, right? Because all-time high was like $57. But, this is going to be some very strong support as well. This 64.57, where we last got rejected there. Now, what was the, now if this was a giant, see, I don't know how that works. So that, I don't even know if I want to get into that. But say this was a big, big pole here, and this was potentially a monster, like bull pennant or something. That was kind of what I was thinking as far as the bigger upside. But I don't think I'm going to get into that because I'm not even sure if I could call that I think it's just a falling wedge here, right? I don't know if I can call it a big bull pennant. But okay, let's just say fuck it. Let's do it. This is overstretching, so don't put your targets up in this potential range here, because this could be I mean, it could make sense though. Let's just see where it lands. So say that, because I do have some targets up here, and I'll show you what my target is. So say we get back into this apex here and we have a break. Now this is going to happen in one day, of course. this target would be $73. So now my target here, based off of this upper sloping resistance, and then you have this lower sloping resistance. I know it's so much going on here, but you do still have this. There it is. This as your very, very key resistance point here. This is going to be, before you even get into these upper targets here, right? This is going to be the deadliest place to get above. It's going to be this trend line here. And it's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some force. It's going to take some volume. But this $55 range here, roughly, almost 55, 40. Okay, that's going to be your biggest place that you need to be watching. Now, we are very, very over. We are very, very, well, we're not very, very oversold, but we are in this general area right down here. So this is a very good place to have a very strong bounce here. And, you know, as of right now, obviously, it looks like we are getting that. You know, we have to look at all. We have to look at all areas, though. So let's take a look at this real quick. I'm going to hide all these indicators because I really need to take a look at this. So if you look at this in this sense, I'm not going to draw it because then my trend lines will come back. One thing we have to be very cautious of here, right? Unless this already played out. And I'm trying to look and see. But I see this could be a left shoulder. And this could be a head. And you could be potentially gearing up to potentially make this right shoulder here on the negative side of everything. And that's something that we really want to be cautious of here. And watch, as soon as I put this here, all these are going to come back. So what I think I'm going to do here, because I really don't care too much about any of these trend lines right now, and I'm going to clean this chart up here. And this is the only way I know how to do it right now. So let me just take a quick second here. Apologize for this, but this should only take a second to delete. There we go. Now we have a nice clean chart. So something that we want to keep in mind here, because, you know, there's bullish and bearish case to every single stock and every single price action here. So let's see. Right here, support, which we didn't even wick down to yet, or will we? Who knows, right? And potential resistance. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here. So if you look at it like this, to me, this looks very fucking bullish, but could also have some bearish downside, depending. Now, in my opinion, I would say that although we didn't get down to the target that I wanted, because I did actually have some buy orders set down here at $38. Could it still get there? It definitely could. So, you know, this all depends on how everything plays out right here. Let me change that right here. So this lower support line here is, you know, exactly 38.51. So although we could trend here and come back up here, right? And come back up to test this area. If we do, in fact, get rejected here, this could be either further downside, right? Or it could just be a chance for it to come down and test that resistance here, bottom resistance. Doesn't have to, of course, you know, but it is going to be potentially looked at as this. So we have to be cautious once we get there. And if we, you know, don't break this, because this, now let's see what would be the neckline here, right? Would this be the neckline or would this be the neckline? That's the question. I would probably call this down here. I'm trying to think. If this would be a head and shoulders pattern is what I'm trying to look at. So I would probably say, and that would make sense why we bounced here, potentially, right, would be that this would be your neckline right here of a potential head and shoulders pattern that you would definitely not want to breach. But it could be as low as this. So I don't know if I want to put that there yet, because for me, I still believe that this could be the biggest support would be down here. So, but if we broke this, then obviously to me that would be confirmation in my opinion there. So just keep this in mind here when we're trading this thing. And then if you look at the RSI, let's see if this could confirm it. And if you look at it like this, very well could, but it looks like we could have a very good sizable move here, unless of course this already played out here, right? Because it's very possible this already played out on the RSI, because this could have been shoulder, this could have been the head, and this could have been the shoulder here, right? So now we're buying back from that, which would be extremely, extremely great if that's the case. So, just want to keep it on the radar, though, even still. That could be a potential possibility. But for now, we are getting a buyback, we are getting a bounce, and we are most likely heading up here to test this 57.35 area again. And that's the gist of it. We could look at all these smaller time frames, but in reality, we're heading back up to test this area. And, in my opinion, it's pretty certain that we are. But obviously, there's probabilities in everything, so I can't just say that we definitely are, but that's my expectations here, is looking for this area here. So for me, if I was going to long this thing, that's probably where I would potentially be looking to take profits, would be in this zone. Now, of course, you would say to me, why would I buy here and sell here if we could break up and go all the way up to $75 plus? And that is because risk to reward. You could hold on to this and say moon, but in reality, you could sell here, lock in profits, and then wait and see if we, in fact, come up here, get an hourly close, maybe consolidate, flag out, and then have a nice break here, and then you would re-enter a potential trade there. So that's how I would play this. So that's kind of where I'm looking at, but that's probably good enough. But let's see real quick. I already drew all this out for you guys here before, but this is kind of where you're at, just so you can see it. Where would I start this? Right here, maybe? Yeah, maybe I don't even like to. I mean, it's kind of like that. Like, we just broke out last minute, and I feel like that's probably the best way to draw this personally. So, this is like saying this was like a last effort to get back up in here, right? Because we already broke down from the falling wedge there, right? So that's kind of what happened there, which is cool. And we created a nice W here. We are rounding a little bit on the RSI, so it is a little concerning there. But, I'm going to extend that a little extra. But let's see the breakout target here of potential. And look where your target is, because I'm actually a little high there. So that's why I say we could be heading back up to this resistance here. And this right here, your support for this pattern is 49.17, and your stop loss could be down at 48.83 or 48.50. I mean, that's just going off of where it's showing that this price is right now, 49.81, right? So if it does actually come back down and retest this at all at 49.19, 49.17, you just want to maybe keep your stop loss down here, 48, or you could put it even underneath here. That's up to you on your risk to reward, however you would want to play this. And then you would take profits. I would take profits at this roughly close to this 57.30, 57.20 maybe, and then I'd probably just sell my position there and let it ride and see what happens once you break above here. And you can see what happened here. This is what you would look for. This was where we ran up, right? So say you do create another pattern here, and then you break up here, you know, it might come up here, wick back, buy back. Now you can keep an eye on it. Whoa, we're getting close. Now keep an eye on it. You sold here, say. Then you can keep an eye on it and see if we get another hourly close above or not. See if we can confirm it at all. And then here's your confirmation right there. And there's your beautiful volume spike. So, you know, this was a potential confirmed breakout, but obviously it must have created something that didn't look so pretty, which was a double top. This was a double top here. Actually, a triple top, 1, 2, 3, potentially, right? And a lower high. So, anyway, I think this is a long enough video here, but we, let's see, this is kind of what we created. And potentially a big descending triangle, right? This was what it was, a big descending triangle with a breakdown. And probably it went way further than it was supposed to. Let's see. A little bit further than it was supposed to, but not by much. Actually, yeah, by a lot. Because our breakdown target would have been 47.87. And we went all the way down to 41.67. So that's kind of where it's at. But, yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts and my analysis on this thing. So just be cautious once it gets up in this range here. That's really what I'm thinking. You can stay long, of course, and if you're long investing long, then, you know, ride the wave and see what happens if you get up in this range here. And just be cautious of this potential scenario here. Nothing's guaranteed, obviously, but that's where I'm at. All right, hopefully this is helpful. And hit the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And appreciate you guys watching.